Angelina Fanous was having the time of her life working as a journalist, covering big parties and big stories, until she learned time was not on her side.
How are you doing today?
I'm okay. I'm tired. But I'm doing as well as I can do.
At just 29, Angelina was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, a terminal illness. The nerve cells that control your muscles degenerate and die, so your brain can no longer tell your body what to do. Struggling to speak, no longer able to type with her hands, Angelina used her eyes to write with this special computer during our interview.
It takes me approximately twice as much time as a healthy person to do something as simple as getting ready in the morning, or even just getting out of bed.
So she doesn't want to spend any time fighting with her health insurance company, but she often has to, because Ohio doesn't require health insurance companies to offer her the health plan she needs.
I think it's unfair that I'm forced into these substandard plans and basically robbed of choice just because I drew the short stick of becoming disabled in my 30s.
People under 65 diagnosed with ALS and kidney failure become eligible for Medicare, but there are costs it doesn't cover. So Ohio requires private health insurance companies to sell supplemental or MEDIGAP policies to seniors. The problem, few offer those plans to patients with kidney failure and ALS, patients like Angelina.
It would drastically improve my quality of life if I could enroll in a MEDIGAP plan, because I wouldn't have to change insurance providers every year based on what they decide to cover. I certainly wouldn't have to spend my limited time and energy fighting delays and denials for basic things like my feeding formula, my main source of nutrition.
And when Ohio State conducted clinical trials on a new medicine, she wanted to take part, but couldn't, because Ohio State was out of network.
I watch with jealousy as other patients in nearby states as they are able to try experimental treatments that improve their speech and quality of life, while I'm simply not given the same opportunities.
17 other states, including Indiana, Kentucky, and Pennsylvania, require insurance companies to offer MEDIGAP plans to patients under 65, but not Ohio. State Representatives Bride Rose Sweeney and Jamie Callender introduced a bill last year to change that. It never got out of committee. They just reintroduced it.
Can truly make the difference for individuals in Ohio who are faced with some of the worst things any of us could even imagine.
They either have to draw down all their assets to qualify for state support for health insurance coverage, or they are going without coverage in order to leave their families with something.
AHIP, a lobbying group for health insurance companies, says adding patients under 65 to MEDIGAP plans will increase costs for seniors.
Shifting the expense of this expensive population onto seniors with MEDIGAP policies would add a significant burden to this group.
But the ALS Association says when Indiana expanded MEDIGAP to include people with ALS and kidney failure, seniors' costs only went up about $1 a month.
Helping out a few thousand people along the way is not going to bankrupt anyone. We have not seen an explosion of premiums on our seniors.
There are over 2,600 patients under 65 living with kidney failure in Ohio, and a total of 1,200 ALS patients, like Angelina, who hopes Ohio expands MEDIGAP coverage.
In a country where we pride ourselves on freedom, shouldn't that include the freedom to choose our health care?
After all, she doesn't have time to waste.
ALS has already robbed me of so much at a young age. Why must Ohio rob me of the health care I deserve?